Welcome back, YouTube. Sensei Domino here. Welcome to the Spine Ticks After Party. Got some great stuff to share with you tonight. I had 4 TTM returns. I'll also be showing a reprint set that was produced in 2001. It's a reprint of a set that was made in 1935 by Edwards, Ringer, and Biggs. It's called Sports and Games in Many Lands. And I'll also be showing a set from 1935, the Gallagher Champions of Stage and Screen set. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with the TTMs. So the first TTM comes from North Texas, Dallas, Texas. Baseball player. Initials are TG. And they also answer my questions. This is Tom Grieve. This is his rookie card right here, the 1971. Gorgeous signature. This was the last year that they were in Washington before they moved to Texas. And I also got him on the 1974. Love that image right there. And the 1975. And let's see what he said for the questions. So I like this. He actually said thanks for what I said. But there we go. What was the greatest moment of your career? My first MLB game, 7/5/1970 at Yankee Stadium. And who was the best player you ever played against? Jim Palmer and George Brett. So that's really cool. So thank you so much, Mr. Grieve. Really appreciate you taking the time. He was a long-time analyst for the Rangers broadcasts, and definitely had a really nice MLB career. So really happy to get that one into the collection. All right, next. This one comes from Greensboro, North Carolina. Initials are MW. This is a NASCAR legend. This is Michael Waltrip. And he did not use my little pouch, but that's okay. The cards came back pretty good shape. These are all same card from the 1991 Max. Signed all 3 of them. I already had Darryl Waltrip, so it's really nice to get Michael Waltrip. Guess this one's been out for about 3 months. And card number 3. So thank you so much, Mr. Waltrip. Really appreciate you taking the time. Definitely happy to get those into the collection. All right, next, this one's pretty cool. This comes from Birmingham, Alabama. Initials are BV. I actually wrote "Do Not Bend" right here in my handwriting, but he wrote "Do Not Bend" right here. He also wrote "Do Not Bend" on the back. So that's really cool of him to do that. This was a fantastic picture. He also answered my questions and actually left me a note on the back of this, which is kind of cool. There's always a small donation for signing more than one card and answering questions. So next time I send to him, I'll have to send him some extra money. Really happy that he actually took the time to answer the questions and sign all 3 of the cards. Definitely happy to get these into the collection. And it's Bob Veal. I think he might be $5 per or something like that. It's not too expensive. Fantastic picture. Here we have him on the 1969 tops. Great signature right there. None of these smeared at all. Really happy about that. Several of them I've received back recently have had some smearing issues, but these look fantastic. There's the 1970. 1973. I believe this was his final year pitching. Here he is with the Red Sox. And one of his answers was kind of interesting. I'll get to that here in a minute. The first one's pretty obvious. What was the greatest moment of your career? 1991 or 1971 World Series champions with Roberto Clemente, obviously being the star of that team. Who was the best player you ever played against? And it looks like he put Harvey King. And I can't say that I know who Harvey King is. So I'll definitely have to be looking that up and seeing if I can figure out who Harvey King is. But that's really cool. Always like learning about new players, so great answer. So thank you so much, Mr. Veal. Really appreciate you taking the time to sign these. And next time I send some cards out to you, I will definitely be sending a little extra money. All right, so the last one, and this one's kind of nasty. I don't know what's going on with this. That's like yellow. Somebody pee on my envelope. I'm not really sure. That's disgusting. So yeah. The cards were already damaged to begin with, so I don't think any extra damage came from whatever that is on the envelope. This came from West Palm Beach, Florida. Initials are JS. This is a football Hall of Famer. Let me go ahead and throw away this envelope so I don't have to touch it again. And this is, as you can see, Hall of Famer Joe Schmidt. And he also signed my little pouch. He used the pouch as well. I don't know why I didn't put these back in there. But yeah, he did use the pouch. To Tony, Joe Schmidt, Lions, which was really nice. Now I have to figure out how to get the tape off of this without damaging the index card. But really cool that he signed that extra. And I really should have looked up the year of these cards, because I don't remember the years of these. But anyway, I'm going to take a shot. I think this was 61, but I'm probably wrong. Joe Schmidt, right there. And this one has some creasing in it. I don't know if you can see it. There's like a little crease right here. There's a bend right here. So it's not in the greatest shape. Certainly looked better on the COM-C when I purchased it, but sometimes you can't see some of those small creases. And then we got this one right here. And again, I'm not sure what year this is. Maybe 1960, but I'm probably wrong. Yeah, he signed this one as well. And this one looks like it had water damage. It's kind of warped. So I guess if, the envelope was going to have some sort of damage to it, at least the cards were already damaged, so I didn't have to worry about any additional damage, I guess. But still really happy to get these back. Hall of Famer, getting up there in age. Really happy to get these into the collection. And I'll probably be looking to pick up a couple more cards of his in better condition and send those out here in a few months probably. Thank you so much, Mr. Schmidt. Really appreciate you taking the time. All right, so that's all the TTMs for the week. So next, I'm going to be showing a reprint set that was produced in 2001. And this was a set made by Edwards, Ringer, and Biggs called Sports and Games in Many Lands. And I actually bought this thinking that this was the original, and I thought I had found like a ridiculous score. There are two cards in this set that are pretty pricey. One goes anywhere between $60 and $100 usually, and the other one is between $600 and $1,000. And I should have known better when I got this set for less than $10 that even if the person didn't know what they were looking at, I probably wasn't going to get this set for $10. But anyway, I later found out after buying that they had reproduced this set. And so I got a better look at the cards, and I looked down at the bottom, and it actually says reproduction 2001 on it. So unfortunately, this is not an original. I'm still looking for this set. Other than the two cards that I just mentioned, without mentioning them by name, just by price, you can get the rest of the set, fairly easily for under $100. It's the other two cards that are the bulk of the value of the set. But I know of a few people that have found these cards super, super cheap because they don't know what they're looking at. So I will be on the lookout for, I guess the needle in the haystack, trying to find, the person that doesn't know what they're looking at, I guess, and try to find one of these for like a ridiculous price. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I'll definitely be keeping an eye out. When you see the cards, you'll know why. But still, these, aside from being reproductions, they look just like the originals. The original set was it was produced by several different tobacco companies. The first one was actually produced by Churchman's, and it came out in 1929. But this one, which is Edwards, Ringer, and Biggs, actually produced the set. The same design. I guess the backs were different, but the fronts looked the exact same. And this one was produced in 1935. So let me go ahead and get started. So as I said, these are sports and games in many lands. So it's basically pictures of various sports throughout the world. And, the imagery is fantastic. So we'll start. I don't have any hard top loaders for the tobacco cards right now. I'm all out. But this is mock combat in Africa. And you can actually tell on these that these were actually stored in a binder, because each of these corners, I don't know if you can see with the light, but each of these corners has kind of like a crimp in it or something. I guess you can't see it very well. Maybe I'll find another one that has a little worse damage, I guess, so you can see it. But yeah, all the corners for the most part are crimped on these from when they were in the little albums that these are usually put in. But still, didn't pay a whole lot for this, and it's reproduction, so I'm not too worried about it. And if I ever actually get the original set, or at the very least all of them but the two big cards, I'll probably be giving this reproduction set away at some point. There we go. There's the back. Sports and games in many lands. If you can see down there at the bottom, if it'll zoom in. There we go. I guess you can see that there. Reproduction authorized by Imperial Tobacco. Looks like limited or something. And it says 2001, issued by Card Collectors Society, it looks like. So yeah, definitely a reproduction, but still great looking cards. And here's card number 2, Primitive Hunting in Alaska. Number 3, this is one I'd love to get, Ice Hockey, Canada. This one usually goes for a little less than $10. Next, we've got Ski Joring, Canada. I mean, I see what it is, but I've never heard of this sport, so kind of interesting. Wonder if that's still a sport that's played today. All right, so next, this is After the Hunt, East Africa. That one's kind of hard to see. All right, next we have fox hunting in England. Next, this is another sport that I've never heard of. Fabian, maybe you can help me out. Pelota in France. Next, we have trotting in Germany. All right, next we have shooting wild boar in Germany. Hopefully you're not picking up too much glare from these penny sleeves. Next, this is hurling in Ireland. I've heard of hurling, but I don't know a whole lot about it. Next, we have pig sticking in India. Next, we have polo in India. Next, we have tiger hunting in India. Next, dancing in Java. Next, a group of archers, Korea. Next, the game of Go Bang in Korea. Next, we have skiing in Norway. Next, a display of rivercraft in Rhodesia. Next, we have Cossack sword dance in Russia. Next, we have a curling match in Scotland. Next, we have bullfighting in Spain. Next, we have bobsleighing, Switzerland. Next, we have skating, or ice skating, in Switzerland. Okay, and these last two cards are the two biggest cards in the set, if you were to get the originals. And the imagery is fantastic. Card number 24, we have American football. Just a fantastic image. I absolutely love this. And so this card you can find between $60 and $100 usually. Sometimes cheaper, but the going rate pretty much 60 to 100. And the last one, and certainly the biggest card in the set, is baseball. And the reason this one is so popular is that people have pretty much decided that this is Babe Ruth. And it certainly looks like him, and he was the biggest star in baseball at the time, so it doesn't surprise me that it's Babe Ruth, but the card doesn't actually say Babe Ruth. But because of that, this card goes between $600 and $1,000 usually. It definitely looks like Babe Ruth, but without his name, it could be just some generic baseball player. But still, really cool card. I'm definitely happy to even have a reproduction of this card in the collection. Definitely a cool card. So that's the complete set, 25 cards. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and maybe sometime in the future I will have, at the very least, some of the originals added to the collection. So there we go. And you might be seeing these in a future giveaway. Okay, so the last thing I'll be showing tonight, this is the 1935 Gallagher Champions of Stage and Screen set. It's a 48 card set of prominent actors. And shout out to Paul in the 619. He loves when I show these vintage actors cards. So hopefully you enjoy this set. This first one's a little rough, as usually the first and the last cards in some of these sets can be. But that's not really the biggest name. We've got Gwen Farrar. I'm not sure what that nasty stuff is right there or on the corner, but that's the first card. And these are actually a little too big of protectors. The cards just kind of slide out. These are, I guess, made for a little thicker card stock than these. I decided to switch companies because the price was cheaper, and I was buying quite a few because I had purchased something like 7 sets or something all at once. I was trying to save some money, so I went with what is it, BCG or something like that. Hold on, let me double check. Sorry, it was BCW. And so I got these tobacco sleeves right here, which are a little too wide, and I got the top loaders, and these are a little too big. These are definitely for a thicker card stock. So I'll have to be going back to the Ultra Pros because those fit these cards much nicer. And yeah, I'll probably have to replace these because I don't want my cards sliding around all over the place. But yeah, that's the first one. The second one, this is notable actress Mae West. And for the most part, outside of the first card, these are all in pretty nice shape, especially for a set from 1935. All right, next, another big name, Greta Garbo. Next, probably one of the bigger names in the set, Bing Crosby. Next, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but Raquel Torres. Next, we have Marie Dressler. Next, we have Joan Crawford. Mommy Dearest. Next, we have Merle Oberon. Next, we have Dolores Del Rio. Next, this is Cicely Courtnage, maybe? I'm not sure how you say that last name. Courtnage. All right, next, we have Jeanette McDonald. Next, Jack Buchanan. Next, we have Claudette Colbert. Next, definitely one of the bigger names in the set, Katharine Hepburn. Fantastic image. Next, we have Carl Brisson. Next, we have Mary Clark. Next, we have Jean Harlow. Next, Wallace Beery. There's definitely quite a bit of star power in this set. Next, Maurice Chevalier. Next, we have Margot Graham. Next, Tallulah Bankhead. Can't say I've ever heard of Tallulah Bankhead. Next, we have Elizabeth Allen. Next, we have Gracie Fields. Next, we have Heather Angel. Next, Sylvia Sidney. Next, we have Madeline Carroll. Next, we have Diana Wynyard. Next, we have Norma Shearer. Next, we have Wendy Barry, or Barry, I'm not sure. Next, we have Anna Nagel. Next, we have Ralph Lynn. Next, we have Winifred Schotter. Can't say I've ever heard of her. Next, we have Jesse Matthews. Next, we have Raymond Massey. Next, we have Ida Lupino. Next, we have Herbert Marshall. Next, we have Myrna Loy. Next, we have Evelyn Lay. Next, Francis Lederer. Next, Carol Lombard. It's a pretty cool one right there. Next, Janet Gaynor. Just a few more to go. Next, we have Charles Lawton. Next, we have Alyssa Landy. Next, we have, I think that says Junior. Yeah. Next, we have Douglas Fairbanks Jr. Next, we have June. Next, we have another big name, Clark Gable. Next, another big name, Marlene Dietrich. And the last card of the set, Lillian Harvey. So hopefully you enjoyed seeing that set. That was the 1935 Gallagher Champions of Stage and Screen set. So that's all I have for you this week. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. Till next week, thanks for watching the video, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.